running back, Sultai Delirium, Zach Allen playing Demure Inverter, something a little bit more slow and blue in his speed. Allen was on the play. You see a turn 2 Thought Erasure. Emrakul, Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, Ishkana, Seder Wayfinder, Jace Friend's Prodigy, and an Ipnu Rivulet. Kind of a land light start here.
Right, but the nice thing about Seder Wayfinder, Jace Friend's Prodigy, they're pretty good at fixing that problem.
Seder Wayfinder is going to be the take. I kind of like that. And then Demure Inverter will be surveilled away by Allen.
Ooh, and we know Zach Allen is on a bunch of Narsets, so this kind of signals having access to one of those.
Jessup drew a Jace Friend's Prodigy, played one of the two for the turn. Allen's going to go ahead and Thoughtseize and Fatal Push. Both Jaces down.
Firing on all cylinders.
Allen had land number 3. And Jessup's going to Traverse for a Swamp, so that's his land number 3. Going to Thoughtseize. Sees 2 Jace Wielder of Mysteries and a Dig Through Time. This one kind of feels like forced action. I don't know. Is there an argument to taking one of the Jaces?
If you had a removal spell for the other Jace in your hand, you might try to fight that fight. But here, it's real hard to argue with just taking the Dig Through Time.
Ooh, and Allen's going to miss on the 4th land there as Dig Through Time is stripped away. Draws and plays Thassa's Oracle, keeps a card. Gotta figure that's land number 4.
It's what we call pressure.
Get that 1-3 attacking. Never mind, that's going to get Fatal Pushed. Ooh, Narset actually for Allen.
That counts.
He's going to minus that. Take a look at the top 4. Finds a Thoughtseize. And over to Dan Jessup. Draws Grizzly Salvage, a 1-of in his Build of Delirium. Ooh, finds an Uro in his choice of lands. Puts Overgrown Tomb into the hand. Plays that tapped.
And just has access now to Uro mana. Oh no, there's a basic swamp.
Swamp throw. He traversed for Swamp the Thoughtseize, and he was off black at the time. But now he needs to draw another blue or green source. Allen's going to minus the Narset again. Finds an Opt. So we know about Thoughtseize, Opt, a couple Jaces. Ooh, and I believe he has picked up the 4th land. He will Thoughtseize. Ishkana down. The hand is now Fatal Push Emrakul. Allen does not sweat Fatal Push too much. He's going to Opt in the main phase, puts a card on the bottom and draws. Plays Island and passes.
Finally hit that 4th land.
And Jessup draws. Ooh, and it's Fabled Passage. That means that Uro can escape right now.
That counts.
We take those. He's going to go find Forest. Jessup takes 1 off a Rivulet. It's going to go to 17. Make that 20, though, as Uro escapes. No card draw, though. Narset stops that. We go back to Zach Allen. Here's the first Jace. Allen's going to mill himself and then draw a card. Plays a tap Choke Estuary.
The best land in all of Magic.
It's like a mighty Demure Guildgate right now.
Is it even a mighty one? It isn't even a gate.
That's a good point. It's a bad Demure Guildgate. Right, Uro's going to attack down Jace. Narset's still stopping the card draw, but just up to 23. Zach Allen's going to Opt. We know there's a second Jace in hand. Though just kind of sending it out as a tribute to the Uro. Not very powerful. Yeah, he's just going to pass with 4 mana up. Right. Uro would like to attack Narset, but Allen wants nothing to do with that. Hero's Downfall is going to take care of the Uro. For about a second, as it escapes right back. But still no card draw off the Uro. Narset doing some nice work here.
Oh yeah, the card has just been overperforming all weekend.
So Jessup goes to 22, call that 25, puts a Watery Grave on the table. And we're back to Zach Allen. Dig Through Time. Allen had a pretty stock graveyard here, plenty of stuff to delve away. He's actually probably closer to feeling like he has too many cards in his graveyard.
Right here, he's just trying to clear out as much as possible to pave the way for an inverter to just seal things.
So we'll take a look at 7 cards. We have 2 of those, put 5 on the bottom. See what he found to do. Gyre Reach Sanitarium. He's got the combo online. Upkeep. Activate Gyre Reach Sanitarium. Jessup draws and discards. Now he can't just regular draw for turn. That's the interaction there. Narset continuing to do work. Though it looks like the Uro should be able to take care of it on this turn. Jessup finally discarded that Fatal Push. Allen discarded a Thassa's Oracle. Uro is going to take care of Narset. Jessup will pass. And that's Revolt, so Fatal Push now takes care of Uro at the end step. And now Allen untapping with a good amount of mana, nothing on the battlefield, and some cards that he just picked up from Dig Through Time. Ooh, another Dig Through Time. Addressing that problem of too many cards in graveyard.
Oh, yeah. You know, you really need way, way, way too many for 12 being taken out to not put a dent in it.
Right. Also, since he's comboing with Jace, we know he has backup Jace in his hand. He can make short work of an 8-card deck. So Dig Through Time. Going to look at 7 more. Grab a couple of those. Shocks for Watergrave to 14. And back up Narset. Jessup
got to make sure.
Jessup gives a thumbs up, but I don't think that he's cool with that.
Well, that's like, what is cool with anything, really?
Ooh, so interesting here. Zach Allen picked up Fatal Push off the Narset and then cast Auto Erasure. That gave Jessup the opportunity to Swift end the Narset.
Yeah, I imagine the thinking there from Allen was if Allen hit a Thoughtseize or a Thought Erasure or something, you don't want Jessup knowing that you have another copy of it.
Sure, makes sense. So Murderous Rider went on an adventure. Uro's gonna escape. Yeah, I gotta say, these mechanics have really fun keywords.
Which one? You said escape, but which other one?
Adventure.
Adventure?
Yeah.
Adventure is definitely exciting.
And finally, Jessup draws a card off the Uro.
It feels like that should have already happened at some point, but Narset's just been around.
Right. Here's an inverter. Allen's going to exile the library. Jessup's going to review what's going to become the new library. Give that a shuffle. Real quick, Allen's going to familiarize himself with his deck. Good due diligence. As Ross Merriam would say, magic is better with homework. Thoughtseize from Allen goes to 14 to take Walking Ballista.
I hate the things Ross says.
And Jessup will draw. Was empty-handed. Finds a Thoughtseize. Casts that. Sees Fatal Push. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Takes the Jace.
Yeah, hard not to feel like you're just priced into taking that one. The Fatal Push isn't doing that much here, more than likely.
Uro attacks, and Allen's just sitting there. Can I block? You can. Inverter trades with Uro. And now, if Jessup were to escape at this turn, the Fatal Push can actually just take care of it right away. So he kind of has to wait a turn.
Nice little tempo play on Allen's part.
So he's just going to cast Murderous Rider. Plays the last card in hand. It's an island. Back over to Zach Allen. Not interested in Fatal Pushing Murderous Rider.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Allen will literally deck out before Murderous Rider kills him.
Right. He activates Gyre Reach Sanitarium. Draws and casts Narset. Finds Dig Through Time. Basically 2 Demonic Tutors at this stage of the game. Though, the deck doesn't have the most selection.
Not particularly robust,
Right.
if you will.
Yeah. How much can you really say about a demonic tutor in a 4-card deck? Murderous Rider bumps Narset to 1. Jessup looking at escaping Uro. Jessup's life total both unknown and irrelevant. Apologize
It's an
with that.
enigma.
Having a little bit of a software issue, but I assure you that number wouldn't matter if you knew what it was.
I would probably guess around 40.
I'm going to take the under.
Yeah? With all those Uro triggers?
I'm going to take the slightly under. He's cast some Thought Seizes. He cast a Swift End.
All right. 39.
Land go. All right, what are we doing, Zach Allen?
We are looking for 3 more players to fill up our final turbo draft of the evening. If you are interested in
Drawing and passing is what we're doing.
up at the stage.
Once again, we see that Guy Reach Sanitarium combo.
Turbo draft.
Draw and discard, no draw step for Jessup.
Interested in joining us for a turbo draft?
Though the Murderous Rider does take down Narset. That means Uro can escape and draw a card. Told you it was under.
Well, hold on. Give it a second.
Still going to be under.
Well, maybe.
Let me do the maths.
Who knows what 33 plus 3 is? That's like 333.
I'm-
That's way higher than 40.
I'm going to guess it's 36.
Witchcraft.
Satyr Wayfinder drawed and cast. You saw it for a second. It was 36. I was right.
I don't see anything.
I can't argue with that.
That's true.
Blooming Marsh can't and won't. Blooming Marsh found out the Wayfinder. Some Fatal Push action, some Dig Through Time action from Allen. Narset had left the battlefield, so Uro just gets pushed. Allen's going to dig. Leaves Jace. Going to look at this 4-card deck and grab 2 cards. Shuffles 2 cards. It's really difficult
You
to
don't
randomize.
even shuffle. You just get to choose with Dig Through Time.
That's a good point. He kind of moved him around, but you're right. He did not have to do that. And Zach Allen's going to close it with Thassa's Oracle.
Happy birthday to him.
One game is nice, but I think a better birthday present would be a match win.
We don't just give those things out, Ryan.
When I play tournaments, I kind of do. Players checking out their sideboards. You can too, following at home using the magic of Cardboard Live. This is another Leyline mirror. Zach Allen, not about that Leyline life.
Nope. Playing some more versatile tools, but we see Jessup with 3 ley lines out of the sideboard.
So when you don't have Leylines, that suggests to me that Allen's plan is just to really try to combo in this matchup.
Yeah, I would imagine so. It's pretty straightforward here.
Kind of tough to keep up on cards playing against Uro. That makes sense to me. This is a 3 Leyline sideboard. We talked about Leyline
Tasteful.
numbers. You told me you didn't like 2, but you didn't tell me the number you did like before.
I said anything but 2.
Sure, but that's not a good answer. It's not very non-committal.
I'm not great at Magic.
There's a poll in front of you that says 4, 3, 1, and you're clicking the see results is what you're telling me.
Yeah, probably. And then probably just nod my head and go, yeah, that makes sense when I see whichever one's winning.
Yeah, I mentioned how I give out match wins. I'm a 0. I would rather lose to Dredge than register Leyline. That's where I'm at.
Well, I know I have seen you play a lot of Arclight Phoenix, so I imagine losing to Prized Amalgam is something you're kind of used to at this point.
Thing in the Ice was good against them.
Okay. And Conflagrate's good against Thing in the Ice.
That's a very good point. But I have won that matchup. In Baltimore, I beat Seth Manfield playing Dredge. Because he kept a bad hand, because it's actually the one thing he doesn't do enough is mulligan.
Ooh.
Players drawing up 7 cards, and speaking of mulligans, Jessup's going to 6. No, it was sorry, I apologize. Manfield was on the team. Matt Ling was the dredge player. But Manfield really pushed for him to keep the hand.
Look, maybe it was almost great. Sometimes you just have like 2 lands, Conflagrate, Shriekhorn, Cathartic Reunion, and you're just like, well, how do I throw this back? And then you brick on a dredger for like 10 cards and look really, really dumb.
Anything could happen. That's so many looks.
That's just a fact.
That's so many looks. Down a game on the draw. Jessup going to take a look at 6. Players, of course, teammates with 2 open wins here. I imagine Jessup is fairly familiar with what Alan has brought to the table this weekend.
Yeah, it's not like these 2 players don't have an idea of what the other one likes to do.
Shock for Overgrown Tomb, Thoughtseize cast, take a look at Alan's hand. Couple Jaces, Vryn's Prodigy, and Wielder of Mysteries. See Drowned Catacomb, Opt, Island, Fatal Push, Watery Grave. So 3 lands, 2 Jaces, a cantrip, and a removal spell.
This decision is going to change a lot based on how Jessup feels about his hand, and we see him take a Fatal Push here, which signals to me that he cares a lot about the Jace Vryn's Prodigy in his hand and thinks that that is a sort of important piece of his own game.
Yeah, you see Jace Vryn's Prodigy show up there for Jessup. Alan's going to opt. It definitely wants this Jace to live, and it makes sense. This is a game where he has mulligan. The matchup is largely about value. Dueling Jaces now, Vryn's Prodigy for both players. Going to Jessup's 3rd turn. He's going to start by looting. Sitter Wayfinder are going to be discarded. Forest is land number 3. Uro is going to be cast. He'll go to 17.
Could you draw a card with an Uro?
Yeah, at long last. Puts a Blooming Marsh on the battlefield.
A delicacy in some matchups.
One of the cards in Jessup's hand, it's kind of an odd one, but it's a heavy hitter. It's Vivian Reed.
That card is incredible whenever you think things are going to get grindy.
Here is Narset for Zach Allen. On the draw, so he couldn't turn off Uro right away, but that card's pretty good against Jace, too. You force Jessup to at least use it on your turn.
Oh, yeah. Jessup really wants to find that land off the top here.
Narset's going to minus. There's Fatal Push. So Narset really bullying Jace. That's actually Jace's origin story, is he got bullied a lot. I don't know if you keep up on the lore.
Oh, picking up a Leyline of the Void off the top, kind of the story of the tournament, it feels.
We've seen a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
Jessup's going to shock to 15 and deploy Vivian Reed. Takes a look at 3 lands and a Grizzly Salvage. See which land he wants most. It's going to be Island. Then we pass to Allen. Jessup waits on the Jace. It's really bad to use it on your turn against Narset. Allen's going to use his Jace end step. Loots away a Thought Erasure. Jessup's hand not really full at this point, and Allen knows about an island. Narset's going to go to 1. Allen's going to look at the top 4, see a couple lands, you see an Opt.
Uh-oh.
What's uh-oh?
I was worried it was a brick. The island just, or the Opt just kind of looks like the island.
The promo Opts are very blue.
Right.
His islands
They
are
look
also
great.
very blue.
Yeah, and none of this is to drag any of it, but my brain hadn't quite processed that you said Opt yet, and I thought it was an island.
No, I get it. Hero's downfall on Vivian. Well, that was solved quickly. Allen's going to activate Jace. Jessup responds, activating his own Jace, because now that means Jessup's Jace transforms. So he's fading that Jace drawing a Fatal Push. Pretty heads up there. Alan also discarding card number 5. Just discards that opt. So now we have Telepath, Unbounds, Abound. Both players have one.
You've been practicing that one all week, ain't you?
I just kind of say stupid things a lot. So I haven't said that one before, but I've been practicing my whole life for it.
Oh, Lord.
Alan's going to shock for Watergrave to 18. Pluses his Jace. Passes. So I imagine another opt is in the hand. Jessup's going to draw. He has 2 ley lines and an island. Woof. Kind of digging this Zach Allen 0 ley line technology.
Yeah, and, I think we can get a glance at a Kali toss in Allen's hand. That may just be the way that he's chosen to try and fight these fights.
That card's really good against Uro if you catch it before it escapes.
Right.
Jessup casts Leyline into the void. Allen's going to opt. And I think Jessup may have, in the frustration of his hand being so bad. Oh, never mind. This was just in response to Leyline. So Jace does tick up. But Jessup's hand is very bad.
Right, and not having any way to cleanly loot this stuff away, like the old Jace, is really problematic. Because of this Narset, it's going to be hard for Jessup to actually change the contents of his hand in any way and actually gain any sort of traction against Allen, who really just has a full grip and 2 Planeswalkers. For Allen, this is home.
Yeah, no kidding. He is no stranger to this spot. Very deliberate control player. You see a Jace, Wielder of Mysteries in hand. I don't think he has land 5 rolled up yet. He's going to cast the Jace, though.
I think he'll find a way to power through this incredibly trying time.
He's going to target himself, exile 2 cards. It was a Thoughtseize and a Kalitas. And draws Fabled Passage. All right. And the Leyline is kind of going to help him stop his library from getting his graveyard getting too large.
Right, this is actually that strange spot where Allen has enough cards to fire off a dig through time and a healthy number of options for this Jace Telepath Unbound already. So the damage is kind of done.
Jace goes to 7. We go to Jessup's turn, and I think he drew Mystical Dispute. It's the sort of thing where oftentimes it's like, yeah, I drew a sideboard card. It should have been impactful, and this is just 3 pretty embarrassing ones.
Yeah, this is... all of those cards need to preempt something. So top decking them on turn 8 is just not the place to be.
Jessup's Jace goes to 7. We see a pass to Zach Allen. Leaves the passage up as he goes to his turn. Draws a Thought Erasure.
Yeah, this is just Allen holding up that Fabled Passage to combo with a Fatal Push in order to check Uro.
Yeah, makes sense. Wielder's going to go to 6. Exiles 2 cards, draws, finds an island. Just keep plussing your Planeswalkers.
This is definitely something from the Jerry Thompson school of, why would I ever try to win?
Right.
We'll get to that.
And it's on the topic of Jerry Thompson, just when we really saw him a lot on the tour, it was in the era of both Cobblade and Legacy Opens.
Yep.
Really reminded of just the best time to cast a Brainstorm's the winner's interview. I'm not going to cast these cards in my hand because I literally don't need to.
Yep.
Jace is going to go down. Hero's Downfall, Jessup's Jace.
And we see Allen just tightening the noose here.
Yep. And honestly, it doesn't really take that much time for you just to get up to a Jace Wielder of Mysteries just activating and winning the game.
Yep.